this theft of private wealth and the distribution of private wealth to favored political constituencies is not unique to the United States, but rather is a feature of politics. Ambrose Bierce, again, a quote. Politics is, no, I'm sorry, this is Gore Vidal. Politics is best understood by examining the root words. Poly from the Greek for many, and tick from the English colloquial for small blood-sucking insects. The process of politics is understood by examining the root word, many small blood-sucking insects, each trying to steal the lifeblood from the other while they defend themselves from having their own lifeblood stolen. That's what an election is.
This is in connection with the dollar, because in your view, the dollar is going to lose 75% of its value over the next 10 years. And so I was thinking about the current administration and some of their policies, because it seems like there's some, they want their cake and they want to eat it too. One, we had the Doge efforts come in to reduce government waste, fraud, and abuse. And then we had the tariffs come in, which the tariffs were supposed to be to drive investment into United States industry, infrastructure, manufacturing, to reshore jobs and everything. But right now they're talking about giving out $2,000 checks and $10,000 checks to those who were who were affected by the shutdowns. And so it kind of just seems like the same tricks that the pony does. And so just curious, is that in your view for how the dollar is just going to continue to erode because of the spending habits of these politicians?
Absolutely, Daryl. We're starting off strong. They're going to hate us for this. The checks are bribing us with our own money. Let's be straight. What they do is they steal it out of our paycheck, and then they give us back 10% of it, signed by Trump. It's amazing that so many of the American electorate are stupid enough that they can be bribed with their own money. Doge is predictable. The Department of Government Efficiency was toothless. I'm old enough to remember, Daryl, the Reagan Revolution. Ronald Reagan came into office with an overwhelming mandate. He didn't win by an eyelash like Trump did. He had an overwhelming mandate to reduce the size of government. And he employed a guy named David Stockman, who you met at my conference in Boca Raton last year, to head the Office of Management and Budget. And despite the popular will of American citizens in 1980, the professional political class derailed the Reagan Revolution in 6 months. They made mincemeat of the Trump administration, who was never in favor of lower spending anyway. He wanted to divert resources from circumstances that benefited other people's constituency to circumstances that benefited his constituency. Mm-hmm. He was never about less government. He was always about different government. And it's always that way. Elections were described by, if my memory serves me well, Ambrose Bierce. It may have been H.L. Mencken. Elections were described as advanced auctions of stolen property. The process doesn't change. The high bid changes. It might be Biden. It might be Bush. It might be Obama. It might be Trump. But the truth is that everywhere and always, they seek to bribe you with your own money. If they benefit you accidentally. You need to look after yourself. And Daryl, in an advanced auction, the loser is always the young person or the unborn person. The deterioration in the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar will impact nobody as seriously as the unborn. My generation, the baby boomers, voted ourselves all kinds of cool benefits and services, but we forgot to pay for them. The consequence of that is that the net present value of unfunded entitlement liabilities in the United States exceeds $120 trillion. Trillion dollars. And it gets worse. That's why I say that the deterioration in the purchasing value of the U.S. dollar is an inevitability. We have two choices, Daryl, as a consequence of politics. One, we can be honest like the Argentines and default. Or two, we can do what America did in the 1970s, which is default on the installment plan. Keep the nominal value of the promises while inflating away the net present value. I think we choose door B. I've lived through it before. I know how it happens. I know how it ends. And I'm doomed to live through it again. Forewarned is forearmed. Hopefully, over the course of the next year, you and I in our discussions will tell people how to arm themselves so as not to be taken advantage of by the situation, and hopefully, in fact, to take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, how much of this is? It seems like this is a American problem. Oftentimes you have each political party pointing fingers at who's doing what, and they both do the same thing. They both want to spend money. Deficits are ballooning. National debt continues to go up. And then you have the voters who want what's going to benefit them, whether that be a check in the mail, signed by whichever president, whether that be a tax cut, whatever the case may be. You have the voters that vote based on these policies that benefit them too. And obviously there's like some underlying dynamics with, the policies that were carried out for the hollowing of our industrial base and real wages not increasing over time over the last, 30 years, 40 years or whatnot. And so, and I was listening to a clip from Milton Friedman, and Milton Friedman was clearly saying like, well, part of the problem is that the people vote for these benefits that they want, but ultimately it creates this problem where we have the debt continuing to rise. It has to get financed, fiscal dominance, all these different things, which are ultimately like inflationary. And so it seems like there's very few people that are kind of aware of these things.
I think you put your thumb on it, Daryl. The one argument I would have for you is that inadvertently you described it as an American problem. It's a political problem. The Canadians have the same problem, only a little worse. It's a global problem. When I say the U.S. dollar loses 75% of its purchasing power, I don't mean against other currencies. I mean absolutely. I think the U.S. dollar will do okay, maybe not well, but it will do okay against a basket of currencies. But this is a national problem. In Canada, they have, I think it was called the Department of Regional Economic Expansion, which basically is an agency that steals money from the West and delivers it to Ontario and Quebec. So this theft of private wealth and the distribution of private wealth to favored political constituencies is not unique to the United States, but rather is a feature of politics. Ambrose Bierce, again, a quote. This is Gore Vidal. Politics is best understood by examining the root words. Poly from the Greek for many, and tick from the English colloquial for small blood-sucking insects. The process of politics is understood by examining the root word, many small blood-sucking insects, each trying to steal the lifeblood from the other while they defend themselves from having their own lifeblood stolen. That's what an election is.